Knife in the back. I'm thinking murder. When can you get a detective out here? 2 weeks? There won't be anything left to detect. You can't keep suspects around that long. They've already moved the body to a different room. That was before I got here. What was I supposed to do? Have them move the body back in here? What? No way I can't investigate a murder. I'm just a patrol officer on duty. I give speeding tickets for crying out loud. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Another patrol officer? What good's that going to do? Okay. Well, when's he going to get here? Okay. Anything else? Yeah, of course I'll take it. Okay. Okay, bye. Hey, lady. What'd you say your name was? Brooks. Get everybody in here. Well, what is it?
I just thought you should know the last person who told me to get everybody in here was murdered.
I'll make a note of that in my report. Now get everybody in here.
I'm here, sir.
Oh, hi. Headquarters said there's another patrol officer on the way, but I didn't expect you to get here so quickly.
I drove very fast, sir.
You didn't break any speeding laws, I hope.
Well, I had the lights and siren on, sir.
Disturbing the peace, were you?
Well, sir,
How long have you been on the force, Officer
Walsh, sir.
Walsh?
Walsh.
That's my name.
Mine too, sir.
What's your first name?
John, sir.
John? What kind of name is that?
My name, sir.
Where'd you get a name like John?
My parents, sir.
I wonder what they were thinking.
If I may ask, sir, what is your first name?
Kai. What's wrong with Kyle?
I didn't say anything was wrong with Kyle.
You didn't say anything.
No, sir, I didn't.
I'm going to put that in the report.
I'm sure that if it is pertinent to the investigation at hand, you are justified in putting it into the report, sir.
How long have you been on the force, Officer Walsh?
36 hours at the end of today's shift.
Third day on the force, and you've already got your first murder. Lucky guy. You should buy a lottery ticket.
Shall I secure the perimeter, sir?
Your state is 400 acres. How are you going to secure the perimeter?
I thought I secured the perimeter of the building, sir.
Any detective training, Officer Walsh?
Just some basic procedures at the academy.
Oh, you went to the academy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to need you to take notes while I question the suspects.
Yes, sir.
Okay, listen up. First of all, whose bright idea was it to move the body?
Mine.
Hurry.
Lauren, the housekeeper and gardener extraordinaire.
And this house is a keeper.
Oh, why did you interfere with the scene of a crime?
What?
Officer Walsh, I'll ask questions.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Why'd you move the body?
There was blood all over the floor. Do you realize how hard it is to clean up blood if there is someone lying all over it? Do you know how hard it is to get blood stains out if you don't clean them right away? Do you know what kind of creepy crawlies are attracted to blood?
And do you know, Florin, that you're now a suspect in a murder?
Why, of course I do.
And that doesn't bother you?
Not as much as blood all over the floor.
So, did you move the body all by yourself?
Toss them over my back like a sack of manure. Who else could have done it?
Okay. Let's get everyone's name and your relationship to the victim.
I'm Sophia Capello. I'm Lord Henning's fiance.
Who was? He called off the engagement right before he got murdered.
Maria.
Paul, I'm the cook.
Was the cook. He just got fired.
I was Lord Henning's gardener.
Did you get fired too?
No.
Did you call off the engagement?
No.
you mean I was the gardener in past tense?
I'm thinking past tense on account of the fact that Lord Henning is dead. So I'm probably not his gardener anymore.
Oh, let's keep going.
I'm Ronnie Dad. Lord Henning's turn.
I'm Leah. Lord Henning was my uncle.
Did he have any other relatives?
No, I'm the only one.
Okay. And you are?
I'm Mr. Lesenheimer, the librarian.
My name is Allison Shute. I was just here interviewing for the librarian job because Mr. Leisenheimer is retired. I'm Susie.
CZ. What's that supposed to mean? The only CZ I've ever heard of is the gossip columnist.
Oh yes, that's who I am.
No kidding. What a bunch of crap you read.
Well, it's always nice to meet one of my readers.
So, what was your relationship with Lord Henning?
I didn't have a relationship with Lord Henning.
What are you doing here?
I was interviewing him.
Okay. And who are you?
Oh, I'm just the neighbor, Mr. Stats.
And what are you doing here?
Just visiting. Good time to visit too. I got in on a murder.
Yeah, great day to be alive. Okay, that's everybody? Did you get all that?
Sir?
Did you write down everybody's name and their relationship to the victim?
I thought we would do that when we question the suspects individually.
Officer Walsh, I'll ask the questions, not we. You'll be writing down the questions I ask, and then you'll write down the answers they give.
Yes, sir. I'll get set up. Ready when you are, sir.
Okay. Write down that the housekeeper and gardener extraordinaire wants the body moved because he claims he wants to clean the blood off the floor in conjunction with his housekeeping duties. And he actually carried his...
Keeper.
You're very neat.
Thank you, sir.
Can you write faster,
No, sir.
even if it were messy?
I can only write neatly, sir.
We're going to have to get someone else to take notes.
But, sir, they're all suspects.
I'll just try to pick one of the least suspicious suspects.
But, sir.
Why don't you go secure the perimeter, like they taught you at the academy?
Yes, sir.
But don't go too far.
No, sir.
And report back if you find anything suspicious.
Yes, sir.
Like if you see any murderers.
Yes, sir.
Or men in clown costumes.
Yes, sir.
I need someone else to take notes. Does anybody here in the house read and write? Or at least write?
Excuse me, sir.
What is it, Officer Walsh?
Before I secure the perimeter of the building, shouldn't I secure each of the rooms on the premises?
Sure.
Very good, sir.
Now listen, everybody. I'm going to have to question you one at a time. So I want everyone to wait in the next room. I'll call you in here one at a time. Wait. I need someone to take notes.
I should be present during the question.
Why?
Because I'm a lawyer. Someone may need legal counsel. You don't want to violate anyone's rights, do you?
But you don't have any clients here, except the dead one.
But I have several potential ones.
You can't be present during the questioning of the other suspects.
Why not?
Because you're a suspect too.
Why would I?
Because murder is against the law. And lawyers seem to specialize in things that are against the law.
Excuse me, sir.
What is it now, Officer Walsh?
I think I found another suspect.
And why do you think that?
Well, sir, because she looks suspiciously identical to the niece of the victim.
What's going on here? I thought I had told you to get everybody in here.
I thought it was everybody, or at least one copy of each person.
Who is she?
I've never seen her before.
But will you at least admit she looks familiar?
Why, she looks exactly like me.
Why, indeed.
Who are you?
My name is Ann Bolster.
Ann Balster?
You know her?
No, but I know who she is.
Who is she?
She's the other applicant for the library job.
What? No, that's not fair. Not fair? That's not possible.
Is it true you're just here applying for a job?
Yes, that's all. Someone please tell me what's going on.
Well, first of all, you look exactly like her.
I figured that part out already, but why?
Why didn't anybody know you were here?
Everyone knew I was here.
I didn't know she was here.
But you knew I was here.
Yes, I suppose I did.
And you knew I was here.
Oh, that was you?
And you knew I was here.
Yes, but I didn't know that was you.
We thought you were her.
So, you've never been here before today?
No?
Didn't anybody figure out that she was here? I mean, didn't anybody figure out that there just happened to be someone here who looked just like the murder victim's niece?
I, might have noticed.
Well, why didn't you?
Would someone please tell me what's going on? Why is anyone in here who I have replaced in here?
Not everyone is in here.
Where's Lord Henny?
Lord Honey is dead.
Dead?
Murdered.
No!
Why are you so shocked?
You don't think I had anything to do with this, do you?
That's what we're going to try to find out. Now, like I said, I'm going to question everybody one at a time. I want everyone to wait in the next room. But wait! I need someone to take notes. Crux, you stay.
Why me?
Because you're the secretary. Okay, everybody else. Wait. You can't take notes. You're a suspect.
Why am I suspect?
Because you're the secretary.
But isn't that why I should take notes?
There is another reason why you're a suspect.
Why?
Because you noticed that there were identical twins wandering around here, and you didn't bother telling anybody.
But the only person I would have told would have been Lord Henny, and he wouldn't have believed me, and now no one can believe me. I didn't tell anyone. That probably didn't make any sense.
You, Allison, the librarian.
Well, she actually hasn't gotten the job yet.
Doesn't matter. You just got here today, right?
Yes.
And you're a librarian.
Well, she...
Close enough. That's almost like a secretary.
Actually, they're nothing alike.
Close enough. You take notes.
Well, I'd be happy to. Not happy considering the circumstances.
I just got here today too.
But you're a suspect.
Why am I a suspect?
Because you're obviously the twin sister separated at birth or something from the other main suspect.
I don't see how that makes me a suspect.
Trust me, you're a suspect.
Why am I the other main suspect?
Trust me, you're the other main suspect. Now, everybody into the next room.
Can't you
away now? I have a deadline.
I have a dead body.
Then question me first and let me go, so I can get my story in.
You can't write anything about this before there's a trial. You could prejudice a jury. You're a material witness.
What does that mean, material witness?
I'm not really sure.
So, ask your questions.
Okay. Okay, sit down.
You know, I'm usually the one asking the questions.
Well, let's see how good you are at answering them. I have one question I would really like the answer to.
And what would that be?
What does CZ stand for?
Maybe I should have a lawyer present.
You need a lawyer to advise you on what your name is?
Maybe.
Write that down.
I did. Why? Why is it so interesting?
Your name probably isn't interesting at all, but you're obviously hiding something.
On the contrary, I'm a journalist. I reveal everything. All the dirt.
Do you reveal your sources?
What sources?
How'd you get your information on Lord Henry?
From him. And I talked with everybody here today.
What about the twin sister?
Now that's interesting, isn't it?
Did you know about her?
No?
Were you alone with Lord Henry?
It was earlier when I interviewed him.
What did he tell you?
You'll have to read about that in my column. I'm not gonna let you scoop me.
The murder of Lord Henry would be a pretty good scoop for you.
I suppose.
Worldwide major scoop.
Well, yes.
Maybe you're the newsmaker yourself. Killed him so you can have a headline.
That's absurd.
Gossip columns are absurd.
That's good.
Thanks.
You're not seriously accusing me of murder, are you?
Not yet, but you're a suspect. And a good one. Just as good as the butler, who I'm going to question next.
I don't think there is a butler. I don't think so either.
Oh, well, then the butler didn't do it. Cross him off the list.
There is no list.
Okay. Well, who else is there? The cooking man.
Wait, can I see what you wrote?
What?
I want to make sure she didn't misquote me. Shoes on the other foot. This one is librarian stats.
Alright, you're done. Send the cooking man. You didn't misquote her, did you?
No, I wrote down everything she said.
It would be funny if you didn't misquote her, though.
Well, not that funny. This is a murder investigation.
Yeah, good point. So, Paul, how did your knife end up in Lord Henry's back?
Someone stuck it there.
It was your knife.
It was my dullest knife. I would have used my carving, or my paring knife would have been sharper. But the blades aren't as long. I wouldn't have used that dull one, although I can see how someone would want to stick a dull knife in his back, because of the way it rips and tears.
So, you wanted to stick a knife in him?
Only 3 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You didn't like the man?
I wouldn't say it that way.
What, wait, what'd you say?
I hated him.
Why?
Because it was so easy to hate him. It was certainly impossible to cook for him.
Is it true he fired you today?
It's true, he fired me many days, including today, but I knew he'd rehire me again.
Why?
Because no one else would ever want to be his cook.
Did you want to be a cook?
I don't want to be anybody's cook. I hate cooking.
Then why do you do it?
Everybody has to eat.
I'm not sure I got that.
I got it.
You did?
I meant, I wrote it down.
Oh, yeah. Paul, you're a great suspect. Now go get the gardener and send him here. You're right, fast.
Thank you.
He was a very good suspect.
Yes, he was.
So, you're the gardener.
So,
What was your attitude toward the deceased?
which deceased?
What?
Hard of hearing?
What do you mean, which deceased?
There are a lot of deceased around here.
What?
You want me to talk louder?
What do you mean, there are a lot of deceased?
Plants!
Plants?
That's what I said.
You mean deceased plants?
That's what I mean. Plants that would be alive today if that fool had not insisted that they be brought inside to die. That's where he died too, didn't he? Poetic. Had it lived long, it would have been lilies without, roses within.
So, you don't like plants being brought inside,
My robins to the greenwood's gone.
but you didn't like his attitude towards the flora and fauna?
Roses are red. Violets are blue. I might not be a poet. But you're not one either.
You didn't mind seeing Lord Henning instead as one of his indoor plants?
I don't mind getting my hands.
So you killed him!
I wish. Someone else had that pleasure. I don't kill things though. I grow them. They only die when someone else interferes with them.
Interesting. You wrote all that down?
Yes, I did.
Even the weird poetry stuff?
Yes.
Another good suspect.
Yes.
So what did you think of Lord Henning?
He's a horrible man. Rotten. Dreadful. Awful. Bad. Very bad.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Did I kill him?
Well, yes, I was going to ask that.
No, I didn't.
But why wasn't you? You moved the body, destroyed that vase. You're the best suspect.
Knives are messy.
What would you prefer?
Dynamite.
Dynamite's not messy?
Only the cleanup, but not the housekeeping. Use dynamite, and there's no house to keep anymore.
So, you don't like housekeeping,
I like clean floors.
but you don't like dusting.
Who does? Do you?
I'm asking the questions here. And I'm done with you for the meantime. Get the lookalike in here.
Which one?
The other one. I mean, the one that just showed up today.
Yes, I wrote all of that down.
These suspects are all too good. I've already got too many of them, and I haven't even gotten this twin thing yet. It's gotta go in the twins, don't you think?
I don't know what to think.
Don't worry, leave it to me. So,
Yes.
pretty suspicious.
I'm sorry?
Sorry? What for? Is there something you'd like to confess?
No.
Where were you when Lord Henry was murdered?
I was in the study.
So is that where you stabbed him?
I didn't stab her. I didn't stab anybody. I was alone in the study.
What were you doing in the study?
Waiting for Lord Henning.
Waiting to stab him?
No. He told me to wait there and not leave until I got there. I realize now that he thought I was his niece, and I actually thought he was going to interview me for the librarian job.
Okay.
Inconvenient, rather.
So he told you not to leave.
Yes.
Did you leave?
Yes. Once, just to get my purse and
Then?
then nothing. I was waiting in the study until the other police officer showed up and escorted me here. That's when I walked in, and that's when everyone saw me, and that's when I learned that Lord Henning had been murdered.
But surely, you don't expect us to believe that you just happened to be applying to be the librarian.
Elsa, if you allow me.
Oh, sorry.
But surely you don't expect us to believe that you just happen to be applying to be a librarian.
That's exactly what I expected from me. But if I don't expect you to believe it.
Aha! Can you prove that you're a librarian?
Of course, look at my job application, my references.
And how do we know they're not as phony as the rest of your story?
My story isn't phony.
It's certainly not believable. It's pretty obvious you killed him.
Obvious?
Well, not that part. But let's at least talk about what is obvious.
And what would that be?
For starters, you bear what's known as an uncanny resemblance to what's known as the heir apparent to Lord Henry's fortune.
But he had no fortune.
What?
He was broke.
But what about the library? That was a fortune.
Alison, if you don't mind.
Oh, sorry.
What about the library? That was my fortune.
It's true, there are some valuable volumes. How valuable would you say is a copy of the Owen Myers Your Elementary?
That would easily sell for $10,000.
And what about Nicholas Joseph Blackie's entire memorial for TC Sorry showing Burnet's description of its iconics?
What the?
I would place that between $50,000 and $20,000.
And Cleaver's illustrated translation of Neil's works?
There are only 100 copies made. Most of them are in museums. It'd be hard to put a price on that one.
And the first editions of G.K. Chesterton?
A few of them are quite scarce, but they aren't worth anything to collectors. Chesterton wrote too much, and now too many people read Chesterton. Most of his books are back in print.
Wait, you mean books that are actually read aren't worth anything?
Only to people who read them. But people who read generally don't have any money.
And what about the family of the convicts during the summer road?
It's a beauty, isn't it?
Oh no, I never got to see the library.
Then
advertised as soon being available for sale at a private auction for antiquarian booksellers. And the estimated values were exactly what you just quoted. Allison, were you planning on making money selling these books if you got the job?
What? Of course not.
Wait, but you knew about these books, just like she said.
That has nothing to do with it.
I need to get someone else to take notes.
I could take notes.
No, you're still suspect. I'm sorry, but I need you to leave. Would you please go and ask the librarian to come in here?
You don't understand.
It's best if you don't say anything else right now. Tell that newspaper lady to come back in here. I'm not done with you. In fact, I don't think I've even gotten started with you. You're obviously in the stuff drivers, but I want to talk to the others first. Wait out there until I call you.
All right.
I thought you were done with me.
I need you to take notes.
Me?
Why not? After all, you are a reporter.
She's a gossip on this.
I can take notes. After all, I am a reporter.
Good. So, you're the family historian?
No, librarian. There's no family historian because there is no family history. The only history is recent history, when Lord Henning started buying everything, including a typewriter, and a lot of books, and
You're on the South Outstanding Library, I understand.
it's just a lot of books if you ask me.
Don't tell me. Let me guess. You don't like being a librarian.
Well, I was getting ready to retire. I suppose I had enough.
How did Lord Henry feel about you retiring?
He didn't want me to retire, but he didn't want to pay me enough to stay either.
And you didn't like Lord Henry.
No.
Do you know anything about those two young ladies applying for the job?
No, not really. I spent the morning with Allison. She seemed very enthusiastic. But I only saw Anne's resume. It was very impressive. But of course, I never interviewed her. The only time I saw her, I thought she was Leo.
Okay. Would you want to send the neighbor here?
That's all you wanted to ask me?
For now. Did you write all that down?
Yes.
Do you think the twins is something to do with it?
Yes.
Me too.
So, what do you want to ask me? I can tell you a lot.
Starters, why did you want to kill Lord Henry?
What? Why am I suspect? He should be suspect in my murder.
But you haven't murdered. He has.
That'd make a great murder victim.
That may be, but let's stick with the murder victim we have. You didn't like it.
Who did?
But why didn't you like it?
What's not to not like?
You were trying to bully him to buy your property, which is adjacent to the estate.
Me bully him, he was trying to bully me.
Another great suspect. Let's get the fiance in here.
Wait a minute, don't you want to ask me about some of the gossip?
That's my department, dearie.
What is this? This doesn't even pass for questioning. Not only would I make a way better murder victim, I'd make a way better detective.
Go get the fiance.
Hey, Sophia! You're next!
Wait a minute, what inside? You leave, Mr. Stats.
But I want to hear what they're going to say.
Be sure to ask her how many fiancés you have before her. The answer is 6. And ask her if you married any of them. The answer is no.
Ask her about her jealousy. The answer is she's jealous.
Ask her why he never married her. The answer is because he never loved her.
Ask her how she felt about her uncle marrying me. The answer is no.
Ask her if he just broke off the engagement. The answer is yes.
Ask her why she wanted to break up our engagement. The answer is she did.
Ask her about her acting career. The answer is what acting career?
Ask her why she wanted to prevent Henny Penny and I from getting married so that she would inherit everything. The answer is that's exactly what she was trying to do.
Ask her why she sleeps so late. The answer is there's no reason to doubt, because as we know, he never loved her.
Ask her if she knew she was being written out of the will.
That is not true.
It is. Ask Ronnie Dolan.
Ronnie Dolland, the lawyer. Get that lawyer in here. Why are you still here?
I was just leaving.
Tell that lawyer to come in here.
Alan, come in here. They want to talk to you about the will.
What was in the will?
Quiet. Get out of here.
Which will?
What do you mean, which will?
There's the old will and the new will.
What was in the new will?
He was going to cut Leah out of it, he was.
How did you know that?
I took a peek at it.
He had me taken out of the will?
Well, partly.
Excuse me, sir.
Did you find another suspect?
It's the same one as last time.
Why is she back in here?
She says she has something she wants to tell you.
I couldn't help but overhear that there was a discussion about the will.
I told you to leave. I'm leaving.
So, what did you know about the will?
Nothing. I never saw it. But I just thought you should know that Lord Henry didn't have any money.
What? You're crazy. My uncle was rich. Fabulously rich.
No, he was very much in debt. He had no money, only the illusion of wealth. His estate, the library, everything, bought but not paid for. So whatever was in the will really didn't matter.
It matters to me.
Especially if you were being cut out of it.
But if what you're saying is true, the bank could foreclose and take everything. We could lose the estate, right?
Well, that's the interesting thing. The deed on this property is unlike anything I've ever seen. When Blackjack and Jack set up the original estate, put a deed restriction on it, so there could never be any liens or mortgages against the property. So Lord Henning owned the land free and clear. Whoever lent him the money with no collateral. Maybe a banker stabbed him.
Write that down.
Oh, that's right.
Let's question the banker next.
What banker? There's no banker here today.
Walsh,
Yes, sir.
check house of bankers.
Yes, sir.
So if the property is free and clear, then it is worth something. In fact, it's worth a lot.
It was worse than the Lord Henning, but unfortunately he's dead. That's the other thing about the deed. The property has to remain free and clear, but it cannot be transferred through inheritance.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I knew some of it first. But you have to understand that real estate liens and deeds and all that are just details. I don't have a lot of time to waste making those things. I'm too busy representing people.
Obviously, we're doing a great job of representing my uncle. He was about to lose everything.
Well, the only reason he lost everything is because someone killed him.
So, did you kill him to cover up the fact that you're a lousy lawyer?
Don't be ridiculous. I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it may incriminate me. Leah, you really need to retain me as counsel right now. If the estate is worth anything, you got the best chance for making a claim against it.
You helped my uncle write me out of his will.
But he never signed it. You're still his rightful heir.
But what about the new twin sister of mine?
And I can represent you too.
That's not what I meant.
I think that's a conflict of interest, but it doesn't matter. As I said, Lord Henning didn't have any money.
Okay, you say there's no money. You say there's this weird thing with the deed. This is getting too complicated for me.
That's the problem with the law, Officer Wolf. It's complicated. That's why we have lawyers.
But the only people you can get to enforce laws are cops. And if the law is too complicated for us to figure out, then we can't enforce it. We can't preserve order when the order is disordered.
But we all still understand that murder is against the law, don't we?
Yes, you're a suspect. And so are you, and you, and you.
Remember, I'm still suspect too. It was my knife that stabbed.
Don't forget about me. I'd like to see him as dead as one of the plants he made me kill. God the first garden made and the first city came. Even if I didn't live with vile man, his blood was the only mess I ever took pleasure in mopping up.
No bankers, sir. In fact, no other people on the premises.
Thank you, Officer Walsh. Go get those two librarians back in here. I need them to do some research for me.
What research?
Never mind. I don't know why you're all so anxious to set through suspects. But don't worry, you're still on the list. You're just lower down. That's what happens with obvious suspects.
But I'm off the list, right?
Wrong. Of course you're still on the list. You're not a good enough suspect to be taken off the list.
Expect me to write that down?
Of course.
Forget it. Get someone else to make notes. The only thing I'm writing down is what goes into my column. By the way, when can we wrap this up? I told you I have a deadline.
I need someone else to take notes.
I can take notes, sir.
No, you can't. Let's get the secretary back.
Right away, sir.
I could take notes.
No, you can't.
Is my turn to be questioned?
No, it's your turn to take notes.
But I thought you didn't want me to take notes.
I know, but I do now.
But you never questioned. Am I still a suspect?
Maybe. You can take notes until you become a suspect again, or until I question you. Whichever comes first. Now get everybody in here. I know. Well, the last person who told you to get everybody in here was murdered.
Well, no, the last person who told me to get everybody in here was you, and you haven't been murdered.
Well, then, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that everybody is in here.
Oh, very good. As long as we have everybody, let's review. First of all, where was the deceased when he was murdered?
He wasn't deceased when he was murdered.
I mean, where was Lord Henning when he was stabbed in the back?
He was in the parlor.
The parlor? Was he having his hair done?
What?
You said he was in the parlor.
It wasn't a beauty parlor.
Was it an ice cream parlor?
No. A parlor is a room in a mansion.
It's like a living room.
Only no one lives there. Plants certainly don't live there.
Who was with him?
No one. He was by himself.
Well, he obviously wasn't by himself because whoever stuck a knife in his back happened to be in the same room as him.
One of my knives. But we were all here. And he came walking through that door with a knife in his back. The only one who wasn't here was Amy.
But everyone passed the parlor on the way to this room. We all had the opportunity to stab him.
And apparently you all had the motive.
So, you know it was the knife, and you know it was the parlor. Now all you have to figure out if it was Miss Scarlet, Professor Plum, or Colonel Mustard.
Who?
You don't have a clue.
Okay. Let's divide everybody up. We have crime and passion people here. Pure hatred and spite folks here. Something to gain from a crowd here. All good suspects. But I'd really like to have one killer. It would look better in my report. Sounds to me as if you all wanted him dead. And truth be told, sounds to me that if he were still alive, I'd probably want him dead too. But that's the problem with murder. It's always the easy way out. You all had good reasons to kill Lord Henning. You all had good opportunities to kill him. But only one of you stuck the knife in his back. You've all given me your statements. And you've all probably lied to me. But it doesn't matter. I'm a traffic cop. I'm used to people lying to me. I should have been a priest. Then I could sit and listen to people tell me the truth. To admit, yes, they were speeding. Yes, that was an illegal left-hand turn. Yes, they did not come to a complete stop, and it was their fault, their own fault, and nobody else's fault. But even though I'm not a priest, I'm still going to hear confession today. What?
You never questioned me, so I still don't know my motive was for killing.
Well, he's got a cook who hates cooking, a gardener and housekeeper who hates his jobs, and a librarian who hates books, and a fiance who hates being his fiance. Don't forget the neighbor who hates being his neighbor. So just toss in there a secretary who hates being his secretary.
But I didn't really hate being a secretary. Never mind. You go ahead. I'll just keep taking notes.
Okay, so everybody had a motive. Everybody had an opportunity.
Officer Walsh,
What?
I know everyone here is going to decide the best opportunity, but no one, including you, has explained my motive.
Well, it's a twin thing, obviously.
But I didn't know I was trying to talk to murder.
We don't know that.
Officer Walsh,
What?
she is not a twin.
A blind librarian. You didn't happen to notice that they look somewhat alike?
Yes, of course.
Are you saying it's just a coincidence?
Everyone knows it's a double. Haven't you ever read Dostoevsky?
And you're saying it's just a coincidence Dan showed up today, Did her look-like's uncle catch a stray piece of cutlery in the back?
I'm not saying it's a coincidence that she's here. It is, however, an unfortunate coincidence that Lord Henning was murdered today. But Anne is innocent.
How do you know that?
Because I arranged to have her come.
You?
Yes, I had done a little research. I knew Anne looked exactly like Leah. I knew she was a librarian, but with very good credentials and a good reputation. I knew I didn't have a chance to get hired if anyone else applied for the job. I know about this library, but I don't have any real librarian experience or training. But I knew that if any other applicants found out that Anne was applying, they wouldn't bother. And I made sure they found out. So Anne and I were the only ones who applied.
She certainly did have a better resume than you, but why?
I also knew that if Anne showed up today, it would put everything in disarray. Everyone would start thinking that she was really some lost relative of Lord Henning, and she'd probably think so herself. And the last thing she or anyone else would think about would be the librarian job. So I would get hired. But I had no idea there'd be a murder here today.
So she's not my twin. Well, that's a relief. No offense.
None taken.
Don't be true. You're still a suspect. So, you went through this elaborate scheme just so you could get the librarian job so you could start selling off valuable books?
What? Of course not. That's not why I wanted the job. I had nothing to do with trying to sell the books. I knew they were valuable, but I had no intention of doing anything like that.
Didn't you say someone was arranging to sell off some pricey pieces of the collection?
Absolutely. Major antiquarian book dealers from around the world are anticipating those books coming for bidding at a private auction. Very private. Someone was planning to sell them very anonymously.
Well, how do you know it wasn't Lord Henning who was planning to sell them?
Well, was it?
No, it was me.
Mr. Leisenheimer, how could you?
I just thought I'd keep a few tokens to express my appreciation of recognition to Lord Henning as his librarian. A retirement gift. To myself, since he would have never given it to me.
Mr. Leisenheimer, that's out and out theft.
Yes, I suppose it's a theft, but it's a theft I never got to because someone committed murder first. Ruined my plan for funding the retirement. You can't prosecute me for a theft I never committed.
Still, Mr. Leisenheimer, you should consider retaining maybe.
Maybe you should just start telling the truth now too.
I have been telling the truth.
But the other two librarians have turned out to be liars. I'm detecting a pattern. Besides, you need to explain why you know so much.
I just do my research. I'm very thorough. And besides, the history of this place is fascinating. Blackjack the Jack had a clever plan for keeping control of the property even though he was an absentee owner. The only time he visited was when the estate was built, and then he would only run after that. He would sell off parcels here and there to pay his expenses, but he kept deed restrictions on all the parcels he sold so that he could consolidate them all again if he wanted to. So the property would go to the senior owner. That's why no one could leave the property to their heirs.
Well then, what was in Lord Henning's will?
I have to ask for methodology.
Well,
There's nothing about any of that.
why would he cut Lee out of the will?
Because Henny Penny loves me more.
He didn't exactly cut Leah out of the will.
Yes, he did. I saw the will. She was taken out like the garbage.
Only conditionally, she would not inherit anything unless
Unless what?
you could prove that you really were a blood relative of Lord Henning.
What? Why would I need to do that?
Seems there was some doubt about that.
Wait a minute. Anne, wasn't your mother also a librarian?
Yes, she was. What is that?
Shirley Balser?
Yes.
Well, all of the
What?
you really are sisters. The problem, Leah, is that you're not really Lord Henning's niece. At least, not by blood. You were obviously adopted.
What are you talking about?
I knew Shirley Balser. We went to college together. We both studied library science. I think that's, of course, where I learned to hate books. But the only research either of us was interested in was finding a spouse. I unfortunately married the late Miss Leslie, who was a failed circus performer. But Shirley married a nice man named Thomas Balser. We lost touch soon after that, but the last that I heard was she adopted a little girl. She wanted to adopt two little girls because they were twins, but someone else adopted the sister.
No, 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 no. No offense.
None taken.
Leo, you're still the legal heir. The new will was never executed. You just need to go to eternity.
I don't know who I am.
I'll tell you who you are. You're the new best suspect.